bottom line, men have been created in such a way that, as you said, they are by nature polygynous. Not only can they have, because a woman can have multiple men if she wants to. She can, right? Technically, if she wants to, she can. It's probably easier for her. She can, as a woman, she can just go around to this guy, that guy. Much easier than a man to go to and convince 4 women to be, in the same relationship. It's about not whether you can, it's about whether Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has allowed it first and foremost, right? This is what He has allowed. And it's about kind of like the most possible or best outcome out of that relation. Because you have 4 men, 1 woman, she can do it, but it's not going to work for many, many reasons. When you have a child, just imagine, astaghfirullah, we are 4 husbands of the same woman. I mean, just that thought already, man, we're ready to smash each other. It doesn't work, man.
Smash you.
It just doesn't work, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Now imagine she's pregnant.
Who's
okay, fine. There's ways to find out. طيب. So for 9 months, let's say it's your baby. Are you going to allow me to go to her? And,
True.
Bro, it's like, come on, man. It's like, now it's not just about her anymore. It's about your child being in there. It just doesn't work, man. Doesn't work. But let's say you have 3 wives, 4 wives. One gets pregnant. The other one
This is the assurance of paternity.
Yeah.
See, the assurance of paternity, you need 1 man. In no scenario can you assure that. Like, for example, a lot of people don't know this, right? So for women, when they give birth, they know that this is my child. You can't, a woman cannot give birth to a child and then wonder, is it mine? Like, it's coming out of her.
Exactly.
50% genetics, it's coming out of her womb. It's hers. She raised it for 9 months. It's hers, right? Mm-hmm. But then for a man, yes, he, ideally it's mine, she's my wife. Ideally, she's not cheating and all this. But he'll never be able to guarantee that. It's almost a subconscious thing, Today, there's always paternity tests and all this stuff, of course. But intrinsically, there's no way for him to guarantee that. So if you add, like, even if it's just his own wife, monogamy-wise, right? He can't guarantee that. Because it didn't come out of him, it came out of her.
Right.
Anyone could have knocked her up. But you add 3 more men into the mixture, bro, there's no way that he can guarantee, which one's my child. But if you have 1 man with 4 women, he can guarantee, if he's pregnant at all of them, he knows it's his child, and each of the women gave birth, so they know it's their child too.
Yeah, and just think about it like this. For women, they want 1 specific man that's like the proper man, like that like high value man, right? If you have 4 men in the equation, one of them is going to rise above the rest. And the one that rises above the rest, that's the one that the woman is going to feel like imprinted with, spend the most time with, give the most attention to.
Impregnated by.
And get impregnated by, because she's obviously going to engage more the intimacy, right? So it just doesn't make sense when it's women, like 1 woman with multiple men,
But when we try to understand the wisdom, again, we go back, number 1, as Muslims, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made the rule and law like that. When Allah has made something like that, and we're usually addressing Muslims, I mean, we'll explain to the non-Muslims as well, but when Allah decides something, there's no, people can't just argue about it. And you said a lot of women, they'll say stuff like, I can't accept this, this is a wrong interpretation, anything like that. In the worst case, they'll say like, okay, I agree that this is the verse, but I can't accept it.
I was just going to say, a lot of women propagate that, I could see the wisdom 1,400 years ago. Mm-hmm. I could see the wisdom 900 years ago. Is it necessary now? Nowhere is in Islam does it say it's only for a specific time period, right? Yeah. Historically speaking, I think there's always been more men than women. More men die in battle. More men die from disease. More men die from suicide. This is undisputed, unrefuted. So when you look at women today, there's always going to be a little bit more women for men. And that's the thing, why, in the West, it's happening anyway, bro. Like, you look at men, they have a work wife, normal wife, they have a girlfriend, texting buddy, they have one at the gym, they have one they're cheating with. And I'm not saying this is okay. I'm saying this is happening anyway to a lot of men. Where you see in Islam, this is not happening. We have to take responsibility and accountability over these women. We have to provide for them. We have to, make sure they're taken care of, their needs are met, their rights are met, they're fulfilled. I don't see what the problem is, bro.
Yeah, you don't see a problem because you're a man, they'll say. Right? And obviously, from their perspective, they look at it from a different way. But that's the point of that I'm making is that a Muslim has to submit. That's what Islam means, submission. I mean, we could debate it. Trust me, if you would bring a couple educated women here, they'll debate you. They'll say, "Well, we have also sexual needs, and we would like more than one man as well." Because, usually arguments that are made in favor of polygyny from a man's perspective will say, well, we're different. No doubt we're different. We'll say, well, men are more sexual and they need different, right? Girl will be like, yeah, but I want like this kind of guy and that kind of guy. Like, now women are doing that. They're choosing not just one guy that they like, but they have multiple guys they like. And that's a fact. And women are going to put up an argument against almost all our points. Trust me, even the whole issue of paternity, like, so whatever, I can control myself. Maybe I don't even want to have children. I just want to have the men. Right? So all these, when you look at the Quran and Sunnah, is there really a justification for polygyny? Is there a rational justification? I haven't seen where like, oh, because the man wants more women or because he's more sexual or he's got higher libido. Man, some women have more libido than
I think where it stems from is in Islam, even in Surah An-Nisa, it specifically talks about lineage. Like we know that Allah Subhanahu wa Taala really
100%.
honors lineage, and lineage is something extremely honored in
And
Islam.
that I would say is a great point. That's
Because bro, think about it. Like, because I know you're saying like women can argue that, okay, what if I have multiple husbands and we don't have kids? Okay, but anytime you sign the marriage contract, you get married, there's a possibility anytime you have intimacy that you could have kids. I don't care if you're double strapped up, condom, or whatever, like you could still technically have kids.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you cannot, that assurance of paternity, that lineage is completely nullified as soon as you add more than one man to the mix. But the other way around, it's not. Do you get what I mean? So in a rational argument, I don't know.
So that's a point that I would agree with it from a rational perspective. But everything else in terms of like sex and drive and men are this
100%.
and that, I don't think so. If you know female sexuality, that's a big debate, man. You could argue that women need it.
Women today they can be with multiple men at the same time, bro.
So again, it goes back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's rule, his decree, what he wants us to do. And sometimes we know there's a wisdom that's described and sometimes there isn't. And that's the whole point of submission. So putting aside that Allah has said so, then we can discuss other issues, right? As to why and how.
And you also said this last episode, you said that just because something is there that I don't agree with doesn't mean it's not the truth.
Yeah.
Meaning if something could be true and you could necessarily just not agree with it, but it doesn't make it not the truth. Right. You know what I mean?